Greetings to another episode of Hark the Lark. The most important thing that I'm going to say right now in this video is, boy, you should read this author. Now, this book, Spain in Our Hearts, Americans in the Spanish Civil War from 1936 to 1939, it's by Adam Hochschild. Adam Hochschild is a fantastic author. If you like history, holy cow. And although the Spanish Civil War is a very tough topic, he does a beautiful job of bringing it to you. He does a great job of writing other books that he's done on World War I and on the Belgian conquest of the Congo in Africa. They are really well written, very insightful. Just sometimes the topic is tough. And ironically today, even though I really want you to know this author's name so that you can maybe go out and get a book by him, he wrote one on the end of slavery for the English. It's called Bury the Chains, I think. And it's fantastic. I mean, should have won the Pulitzer Prize, to be honest. So that one's fantastic. So I've read, 6 of his books, and they're all fantastic. So here's the thing that's ironic, though, about our episode today is even though I want to say that the Spanish Civil War is a really tough topic and it's a worthwhile thing to know about, and hopefully maybe you'll even read this book, at the very, very beginning of the Spanish Civil War is about when the Italian-Ethopian War came to an end. And it is important to know where Italy was because Italy and Germany helped one of the teams in the Civil War in Spain and helped them win the Civil War in Spain. The guy who won is named Francisco Franco, not the guy that you'd like to lead your country, but led Spain for a long time. I think he died in 1975. So Italy went to war to take over Ethiopia. At the time, 1935, Hitler was in power, but hadn't started World War II yet. Mussolini had been in power since 1922, which is kind of hard to remember sometimes when we think about Mussolini. And the Ethiopians and the Liberians are the only 2 countries in Africa that were independent. Liberia, I did another video on, so you can watch that. Ethiopia was independent, and one of the reasons they were independent was because they were Christian. And they were an ancient country. I mean, they'd been around a long time. The Queen of Sheba came from there. So Italy decided, I'll take over Ethiopia because I can get to it. Liberia is on the other side of Africa, couldn't possibly reach there, and went to war against them. One of the reasons he said he went to war with them was to bring Christianity to Ethiopia. Now, I'm not going to argue whether Eastern Orthodox or Catholic are better or worse Christians, but Ethiopia was primarily Eastern Orthodox Christian and had been for centuries before Italy was Catholic. And Italy is taking over Ethiopia to make them Christian. You just have to think about things like this. When America took over the Philippines, we said one of the reasons that we were going to do that was that we were going to Christianize them. Well, tons of the Philippines had been owned by the Spanish forever. Well, not forever, but a long, long time, hundreds of years. And many, many Filipinos were Catholic. But we said it anyway. And I know that I made a little video on fake news, but we've just got to one day understand the difference between truth and a lie. But one of the things that I found in this book was that the Italians used airplanes and poisonous gas against Ethiopians who had no air force. Still guys on a couple of horses, but mostly just guys on foot. And mostly with spears and things like that, not guns. And so it should not be a surprise that the Ethiopians lost, both in civilian numbers and in soldiers, 275,000 people to a war that they did nothing to start. Mussolini just had an ego and wanted to have another place that he could call Italian and went to war with Ethiopia. It's a tragic story. This is actually a fairly tragic story, and I have to say that learning about tragic stories is still important because we cannot correct our way down the path if we don't know the mistakes we've made. We'll stop there, and thanks for joining me.